Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 bot AI cast. And we have got ourselves what should be a good one here today, as it's a couple of my favorite bots. It is Xena rolling Zerg and apparently going for a 3-hatch. Gonna be taking on Caninana, a very good Zerg bot. One of the best Zerg bots out there. For those of you that don't know, Xena is a random bot, so it plays Terran, Protoss, and Zerg. That's it. That's the 3 races. And yeah, it does a darn good job of it. In fact, Xena is actually in the finals of the SC2 AI tournament. Those matches will be played by the time this video gets uploaded. But it is cool to see just how far a bot that plays such a diverse amount of styles can go. And we're going to see how well it does against Caninana in a ZVZ, as it's not something I think I've seen, or I can recall anyway, between these two bots. As, yeah, Xena just going for a very, very greedy opening, whereas Caninana is the inverse of that. Caninana is a Zerg bot that likes to play it safe, although it is sending out a drone, but I think this is probably just a scouting drone because it's got a ways to go as far as having money for an expansion. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if we can get 3 likes on this video for 3 hatches from Xena, that would be amazing. Leave a comment down below saying more bots if you want to see more bots, or you can just, like, I don't know, smash your head on your keyboard and leave that gibberish in the comments section, as that does help with the YouTube algorithm. And then subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Yeah, you guys always blow the likes and the comments out of the water, and it means a lot. And yes, let's see where this one is going to go. We are on Abyssal Reef. Caninana opens with a much earlier pool than its opponent, so the scouting Ling will come in, see that there's a hatchery from Xena. Xena is actually pulling drones against us. Holy overreaction, Batman. As the Zerg bot is like, get that Ling. Yes, that, or Xena, they're both Zerg bots, goes for a massive overreaction trying to catch that one Ling. This is a huge, huge income loss for the red Zerg. I'm wondering if that's just something it's programmed to do up until, say, queens are out or its own Lings are out. So, yeah, that is just massively unfortunate for Xena. A bit of defensive programming that might be good in other situations is definitely not good in a situation like this, so a little bit derpy. One of the drones does get sent to work elsewhere, but 4 are still on the trail. We'll see if the Sling ever gets peace. However, a queen is out for Xena, so that may end this. We shall see, although the queen's just parking there. It's not helping out. These drones are still chasing this Ling, so this is a very, very serious bot derpage. Like, if I pull up the, well, if I pulled up the income tab during that, it would be much, much lower for Xena. Fortunately for Xena, though, it has actually just out-macroed Caninana, but it would be even further ahead if it hadn't had that happen. So well done, Zergling. You have successfully, potentially put Caninana in a great spot. Much better position than if that hadn't happened, of course. Caninana behind this is macroing up itself. I mean, it's got its natural fairly saturated, so Xena really did fall behind a bit because of that. The advantage from the 3 hatchery is kind of gone, and now it's just going to have to play a straight-up ZVZ against Caninana. Looks like Queen is trying to intercept a Ling. Good thing it does kill it, otherwise the bloodthirsty drones may have tried to finish it off. We've got +1 on the way for Xena, roaches on the way, and a lair building. Caninana has got a bit of an earlier roach horn, and it is producing those roaches, but no +1 and a later lair. I'm wondering if we will see a potential roach timing from Xena. This is something that the random bot does very well, and that's usually how you play if you're a random bot. You try to hit timing attacks and exploit things because your fundamentals might not be as good as far as a late-game Zerg bot like Caninana goes. Caninana does secure up a 4th base, so that's nice. Going to be potentially taking an economic lead. And the moral of this game is really just drones, drones, drones from this point on. We have got, well, Burrow on the way for Xena. glial reconstitution, and then just lots of roaches being produced, although still the odd drone being squeezed out here, so it's not necessarily going to be an all-in. I do think the red Zerg is building towards an attack, though, and now Caninana is just going to have to defend against this one, as, yeah, Xena is pumping out those roaches, and it really is scary how quickly Zerg bots can just max out on roaches or get up a high number of roaches thanks to the speed mining. For those of you that don't know, speed mining from these bots is done by issuing extra stop commands to the workers. So they actually stop at the mineral patches and at the hatchery prior to mining or dropping off minerals. That means they basically don't lose time with acceleration like usual units do. We've got Xena saying enemy burrow upgrade and now attacking the natural, spamming chat like mad. I will turn that off because I know it does make it hard to watch. Caninana, meanwhile, is panicking a little bit, building 4 spine crawlers, just going to have to defend with its own roaches, but Xena is going up the ramp and going for blood. There's the burrow for Caninana, having some effectiveness. However, now an Overseer shows up for Xena. Xena just targeting down these spine crawlers, forcing cancels on them all, and now it's just going to be Roach versus Roach, but things are looking quite rough for Caninana. Xena's army movement is very, very good, and we are seeing the roaches of Caninana don't want anything to do with that. Some of them are burrowing to stay alive, and there hasn't been too much economic damage done yet, but as far as production goes, Caninana is making all the wrong things, going for Neural Parasite, investing in more queens, when really it just needs roaches. Xena's spamming roaches, and Caninana is in quite a difficult position here, as, yeah, the natural base does get gutted, and more queens are on the way. That's not what you need, Caninana. So I'm not sure there's a way Caninana is actually going to be able to come back in this game. There is a single infestor on the way, but infestors don't exactly kill roaches super easily. The natural has been gutted. The third mining disrupted. Those drones burrow, but then pop on out. The main base is in trouble, and yeah, there's simply not enough units for Caninana. So Xena will take this one, ladies and gentlemen. This is where I reveal it's going to be a multi-part video, so don't go anywhere, as we're going to have a couple more cheesy games potentially after this, or maybe they won't be cheesy, who knows. And yeah, just we'll just fast forward and then load right on into the next game. Well done, Xena, just an absolute monster. It's kind of scary to think that this timing would have hit earlier too if there wasn't that scouting link that 4 or 5 drones were pulled against, because like that probably delayed this attack by like 20 seconds or something like that, if I had to guess, as it was not insignificant damage. GG. All right, and here we are, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be another Xena game, this time taking on another top Zerg. It's not going to be a ZVZ, however, though. It shall indeed be a Terran versus Zerg. I really do enjoy casting these Xena matches. It's a very cool bot. Now, I think Terran is probably the weaker of the races as far as Xena's play goes. I think Zerg's probably the strongest. Those roaches are just so darn good. Then it's probably a toss-up between Terran and Toss, I guess. But I'd say Zerg is best for Xena. It looks like it may be going for a bit of a cheeky proxy here against the top Zerg bot. Going to be cheesing Eris. And those racks are in quite a nice position. I'm not sure Eris is going to see this coming. There's a scouting drone looking for cheeses. We can see the path that drone is taking, and it doesn't look like it. It might just glimpse it, but it's going to be at least be a while for that. We do have an Overlord scouting out to the pathing location. It's unfortunately not going to see that. Very cool, though, that the Overlords of Eris seemingly paths along these line of sight blockers. So that is potentially programmed in there to defend, well, to keep the Overlords alive if there is like Marines hunting them. And oh, the proxy does get spotted by Eris. So a Rax has been identified. That is a very, very big deal. The drone didn't turn around to go after any of those workers or anything like that, but now Eris knows that there's a proxy it's up against, assuming the programming's right. I mean, it did only see 1 Rax, but it's clearly not in the main base. It's on Xena's side of the map, though, so it does kind of depend on how the programming for Eris works. If Eris is like, oh, yeah, the Rax is on Xena's side of the map, it's fine, but, it's actually a proxy, so We'll see if Eris adjusts at all. Currently, it is just getting up Ling's speed, producing queens, and a couple of Lings. So we'll have to keep eyes on that, whether it's going to be more Lings or drones on the way. It does look like that Eris isn't taking this threat seriously enough. Now, drones definitely can fight Marines, but not necessarily when there is such a high count. Spinecrawler gets attempted by Eris, immediately gets canceled. Drones are being pulled off the line, and there's just a couple of Lings out. So this is going very sour very quickly for Eris. And with a drone on the third base location, it looks like Eris didn't properly react to this rush. A queen pops out. She can do okay, but she's probably going to need some support in this situation. Prayers for the queen, guys, as these Marines are going to kill that one queen. A second queen pops out, does take out 2 Marines before going down. However, it's going to be a while till this Roach Warren is done, but Roaches are very strong against Marines, so maybe there's a chance that Eris can come back. Like, Roaches are so darn good versus Marines. It's going to depend on the micro, but we are seeing lots and lots of drones dying. It is about 10 seconds until those Roaches start to pop out to potentially save Eris. It can't afford to lose a few drones. Like, Xena is completely all in. Just losing these workers is painful. We see the pathing from Eris trying to keep them alive. A couple Roaches are out now. There is a queen popping as well, which is nice timing. Xena is skirmishing with these Roaches. The Roaches, it's important they stay alive, as there's 20 seconds until Burrow is done. Then they'll be virtually unkillable by this. A few of them do pull back. The queen's running to the high ground. A Marine on low HP is able to finish off that queen, unfortunately. The natural is now being worked on as Xena just continues to pump more and more Marines. What's the Marine count right now? 19 Marines. That is a lot of firepower if they all group up. Burrow does finish. The Roaches do burrow for Eris pretty much immediately, which is quite important. Xena does have an orbital, though. Let me guess, it saves some energy for a scan, and it has. Unfortunately, the scan is going after drones, not these Roaches, so they will stay alive, but it usually seems that Roach burrow, like, that it heals them so quickly, but in this case, for Eris, it feels like a very, very long time. So Xena's cheese looks like it will be successful here, as the natural's gone, the main is being broken. The Roaches are just not up to the task. This one is staying underground, saying, I want nothing to do with this. And yeah, just a bit unfortunate. Eris didn't seemingly react to this cheese on a serious enough level, and I'm wondering if it's just a simple location thing for the proxies, that if Eris, say, detects it like on its side of the map, that it will react to the proxy. But it did only see 1 Rax with that scout, which if it saw 2, I bet it would think it was a proxy. But since it only saw 1, or at least an aggressive build, but since it only saw 1, and that's how programming works, maybe, just maybe, that's the only logical reason I can think why Eris wanted to build a third base. I think usually it would try and skip that and focus more on the defense. It did get up a Roach Warren, but I think it was a little late. So I don't know, maybe very well done by Xena, able to bring down the top Zerg bot. Well, both of the best Zerg bots, showing us that Xena is a random beast. And yeah, that is pretty much going to be it. Once this extractor dies, the Roaches still skirmishing, but they are not going to save the day. GG. And I'll call the video there. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning on in. If you enjoyed this cast, click that like button if you haven't already. Leave a comment down below saying more bots. Subscribe. And if you do want to support the content, consider becoming a YouTube member. That way I can buy a yacht. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for tuning in.